Hey there, thanks for stopping by. I'm Dave. Got a little bit of a different video for you today. This is a tag video, which is the first one that I've ever done. Joe over at Joe's Book and Movie Corner tagged me in this, and I'm doing it because Joe's a cool dude. I really enjoy his channel. He shows some really cool stuff, and if you're not a subscriber of Joe's, you need to go at least check him out because I'm sure you'll be happy with what he talks about. So this tag is, I guess, an older tag. I'm not really familiar with it. I guess it's been around a while. It's called I think I'll get to it later tag, or the procrastination tag, something like that. And so it's got 7 prompts. The 8th is actually, name some other people or tag some other people in it. So I've got the prompts in front of me here because there's no way I'm going to remember them. And we'll just go ahead and get started. So the first prompt is a classic book that you've been meaning to read forever but haven't read yet. And this is kind of a blind spot for me. It's a little bit embarrassing. And I'm talking about For Whom the Bell Tolls by Ernest Hemingway. And it's embarrassing because, of course, Ernest Hemingway is Ernest Hemingway, and the subject matter as well. It's something that I should enjoy, but I just, for whatever reason, haven't gotten to this book. Now, this particular copy is 1968 Scribner's Classic Edition. My dad bought this new in '68, and it's been in his library ever since. He had such a sweet library. That's kind of where my whole reading thing came from, was from him. But anyway, when he passed away in 2013, this was one of the books I kept out of his library and brought it home with me. And I guess I'm sort of subconsciously procrastinating, and maybe it's due to just to the size. I mean, this is a chunker for me. I'm not a speed reader. I'm not a skim reader. It's gonna take me a while to get through this, probably at least a month. But it's not something that I've been avoiding. It's just I don't know, just one of those things that I've never gotten around to. But I'm gonna try to make a point of getting to that soon. So yeah, there's the classic one that I am ashamed of not having read yet. All right, next prompt, a book on your shelf that you haven't read yet. Well, everything on my TBR is to be read. So I just randomly grabbed one, no particular rhyme or reason. And that one was Snow Castles by Duncan McCreary. This is a 1981 Tower Books book. And it is the first of a sword and sorcery series. I think it's called Greylock. And I think there's only 2 books in the series, and the artwork is by Romash Kukalis. No idea how to pronounce it, but which is pretty cool. Don't know much about the series or the book, other than that the cover was cool. Picked it up, put it in the pile, and I just haven't got to it yet. So there you go. Next, a book that you recently got that you haven't read yet. This was kind of cool, kind of fortunate timing, because I actually just got this one in just prior to being tagged by Joe. And this one is MacArthur's Bloody Butchers by Brian Bruce. And if you can tell by the subtitle here, Company G, 163rd Infantry Regiment in the Pacific War. This is a small unit World War II history, which is, I'm all about that. If you've seen any of my previous videos where I talk about these kinds of things, I love this level of military history, the guys on the ground, the boots on the ground, much more than the political, strategic kind of crap. Anyway, but what I'm excited about this for is because Brian is, he's one of us. He's a booktuber. His channel is called Bookish, and he's a retired history teacher, and one of his retirement projects was family history stuff, and he came across, I think it was an uncle, if I remember correctly, which I probably don't, who served in this unit. And so he as he was researching the unit, things just snowball like they usually do, and it resulted in this book. So I'm really excited about reading this book. This will definitely be the next nonfiction book that I read. So definitely, at the very least, go check out Brian's channel if you haven't already. All right, next. Book you have had forever but haven't read yet. All right. So this falls also into that category of Embarrassing Blind Spots. And I'm talking about the Book of Lost Tales Part 1 by J.R.R. Tolkien. And, you know, it's embarrassing because Tolkien is one of my favorite authors. Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, my favorite books. And I don't know why I haven't come across or read this. This is a 1984 Science Fiction Book Club edition, and I did get this in 1984, fall of 1984, I believe it was, because I was a member of the Science Fiction Book Club at the time. Got it, put it on the shelf. That's as far as it went, and I don't know why. Just one of those things, I guess. It has been with me ever since. I moved out 88, 89, 90, somewhere around in there, joined the military, and this was with me the entire way, obviously all the way up until today. Sometimes it was on a shelf, most times it was in a box, and I had honestly forgotten about this until Joe tagged me, and I got to thinking about the prompts and what books I might have here that are the oldest books or books I've had the longest. And then I remembered this is sitting around somewhere, and sure enough, it was in a box still, but now it's out, now it's on the list. I'm going to try to get to that this year. So thanks, Joe. Thanks for reminding me. I appreciate that. Next is a book a friend recommended that you haven't read. Okay, so if, like me, you're subscribed to Nick over at the Book Graveyard, or Jake at Pulp Mortem, Tim at Secret Fire Books, Grammaticus, Brian at Bad Taste, I mean, I could go on. You know that there are hundreds of books that they have recommended that are now on our lists. So there's really a wide variety of things to choose from. But what I went with was a series that really intrigues me. I'm very interested in finding or reading this series. I haven't been able to find any except for this particular one, and I'm talking about Casca. And this is The Soldier of Gideon. This is number 20 in the series, the only one I've ever come across in the wild. And so I snagged it. But yeah, this is just one of those, I don't know, the premise is just something that really, really sticks in my mind as something I want to read. So this is on the list. Hopefully I'll get to it soon. I'm definitely not going to wait till I'm not going to read these in order. I probably should, but I just the fact that I'm never going to come across them, I'll probably just grab this one off the pile at some point and give it a try. So that was just one of many recommendations from you all that I'm looking forward to reading. A book that you're procrastinating on. And I don't know really that there's a book that I'm consciously procrastinating on. I've talked about the Hemingway a little bit, but for the sake of not duplicating that answer, I did pull one off that I kind of randomize, I do randomize my my next reads, and this is one that I have on the list, and I kind of always hope it doesn't come up, and that's Sarah Douglas's Hades' Daughters. It's the first in the was it Daughters of Troy? No, the Troy game series. And the reason I kind of subconsciously, not so subconsciously, procrastinated on this one again is just the size. It's like almost 700 pages. This will take me, half a year or whatever to read. So I just kind of hope it doesn't show up every time I get to the random pick. And so far it hasn't. Yay. But one day it will, and I'm sure I will have to just buckle down. I don't know anything about the book, the series. I don't even know anything about the author, really. So other than that, I think this is historical fantasy. I don't know, which is fine. I enjoy that, but we'll have to see. And then the last prompt is the next book on your TBR. And this one I'm not going to answer. And the reason I'm not going to answer is because, like I said, I randomize my TBR list. So I randomly choose. I have list upon list, nested lists basically. And I use a random number generator to decide what comes next. And that's part of the fun for me is the not knowing what's next. Like I say, I make these lists. I'm obsessive with making lists, but I still want that random. I use them just to fuel my desire for randomness. And so I want to be surprised, and I'm not gonna, if I pick one now, I'm just gonna be lying to you because I probably won't read it. I'll probably, because I'm in the middle of a book right now, it's going to be at least a few more days before I get to the next one, and by then I'll have wanted to move on to something. So you know what? I'm just not even going to bother with it. So there you have it. All right. Well, I guess that's it. The last tag was, or the last prompt was to tag some people. I'll tag a couple of you, and if you want to do this, that's great. If you don't, it's not going to hurt my feelings at all. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Appreciate you sticking with me. Appreciate your likes, your comments, most of all. And until next time, I hope you stay well, and I will talk to you soon.